I will have normal, everyday people picking me apart. Oh, his life is miserable. Who wants to live like that? It's crazy how it's almost like he's sick, he's psychotic.
There's a quote from one of my English teachers at Lower Merion named Mr. Fisk. He had a great quote that said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And that's something I always live by. You know, I'm not gonna rest, I'm gonna keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time. One thing I would do is, while everybody would be at the cafeteria or work, you know, eating and doing other stuff, I just go back to the gym. I just go back to the gym.
They'd be resting.
They'd be resting, and they'd see me leave, right? But now you're in a tough position because you're like, okay, I want to be like, I'm following this kid to go work out. I know he's working, he's up early, and he's doing all this other stuff. And so that was my way of showing them, yeah, I may be from the suburbs, but you're not gonna outwork me.
Wow.
And I'm mentally gonna.
Did someone teach you that?
And the thing that helped me actually was hurting my Achilles, because that forced me to sit there and say, okay, the day could be today that your career is over.
At any time when you were playing, you mean, yeah.
Now what do? You have these ideas about doing something with your life after basketball, but what if today is the day that's it? Now what do you do? So I had all this time sitting there with my Achilles injury and contemplating and thinking, and I said, I better get to work.
Let me teach you the real life, how it really is. The reason why you're a loser, and the reason why you're not fucking making it, and the reason why you're trying to go through I go to all these fucking conventions, speak all the fucking time. I look in the fucking audience, and these people sign up fucking every year to go to a convention, thinking they're gonna learn something fucking different. No, you're lazy, you know exactly what to do, because even me, in my state of, I can't read and write, I knew exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. It sucks to do it. It sucks to wake up every morning of your life and say, God, man, I'm not smart. So guess what I gotta do? I gotta study the same shit that I got one of the highest scores in the nation on, and do it again. It's not just there. It's not just there permanently for me.
One of the things that I had to learn is how to get the best out of my teammates.
Yeah.
And most people think it's a simple thing, you know, pass them the ball. You know, but that's not how you make guys better. You have to really affect their behavior.
How do you do that?
So, you know, I would tell guys, we got back-to-backs. You know, I don't care if we're in Miami, I don't care if we're in a great city of Chicago. You can't go out, we gotta get rest. Right?
Back-to-back games.
Back-to-back games, right? Monday, Tuesday. You play Monday, you play again Tuesday. Guys aren't gonna listen, right?
Right.
So a few times I said, all right, we'll all go out. We'll go out together.
Really?
I'll drink with you, right? But the next morning, I'm banging on your door at 5 in the morning. Let's go.
They're not getting
Where are we going? I hung out with you, now you come hang out with me.
Wow.
This is what we do, all right? Let's go. And we're at the gym, we're working out, right? We hit the bus, we go to practice, we play that night.
And they're dead.
And they're dead. And they're like, oh, lesson learned.
Really?
Lesson
So
learned.
take them out once.
Listen, if you're gonna do that, but don't let that compromise what we're here to do.
Right.
This is why we're here. This is why you're here in the first place.
Yeah.
Right?
And if we're gonna win a championship, we have to have that championship mentality and work ethic.
That's it. So you gotta show them, no, 𝐭𝐫 can do that and still has the energy to get up and do this. So either I gotta meet that same energy or I gotta keep my butt in my
Go to
room.
bed early, yeah.
The movie that changed the whole trajectory of my life was Vision Quest.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
Vision Quest, man, I fucking love that movie. It's basically, you know, it's telling the story of a kid who really wasn't anybody in high school, and nobody kind of knew who he wasn't popular or any of that kind of shit. And he decided that was the year that he was going to make his mark. And he was a good wrestler at 178 pounds, but he was going to move down to 160 something to take on the Shoot, the scariest guy and the whatever. But there's all these little things in the movie that really lay out what life is all about. One of the parts is he's in a class and he's talking about, the teacher's talking about some poem. And he says, what does this poem mean to you? Well, this little girl's walking through, the park, and all the leaves are falling off the trees, and she realizes that she's going to die someday. And that a lot of people think they have all this time, so they fucking waste it. And they never go out and do what they really set out to do or accomplish or do anything great in their life. That's one meaning. Then he's got the guy that he works with at work. You know, he's cutting weight and his nose is bleeding and all this shit. And this guy keeps going, why the fuck are you doing this? Pick that thing up and eat it like a fucking man. This is ridiculous. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself, blah, 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 blah. So then when he meets the girl and he gets to the point where he feels like he wants to quit, right? Where does he go? He goes to that guy's fucking apartment because he knows when he shows up at this guy's apartment, he's going to go, yeah, fuck this shit. No, he went to work. He went to work to talk to him, and he wasn't at work. He took the night off. So he shows up at the fucking house, at the shitty little fucking apartment that the guy lives in, and the guy's putting a suit and tie on and shit. He's like, they said you called in sick. What's going on? He's like, well, yeah. Aren't you wrestling this guy tonight? And he's like, yeah, but why would you? You're going to get docked a night's pay and all this other shit. He says, you know what, man? Then it all gets laid out. I get the goosebumps even telling you this fucking
Is that
part
the Pele speech?
Pele, yeah. When he's saying about, you know, I'm fucking cooking in an overnight hotel fucking thing, and I live in this shitty apartment. A human being can lift himself upside down and backwards and kick a ball into a fucking net, and the whole stadium goes crazy, and this guy runs around, and I'm sitting here in my fucking apartment alone, and I start crying. Yeah, I start crying. So the guy who's been shitting on him the whole fucking time actually really respects him for what he's done and sees what this kid is capable of doing and all this shit. This fucking movie spoke to me on so many different levels, and I think it's probably the most underrated movie of all time when you really break down the meaning of what this movie is about, and it fucking really spoke to me.
Right now, if you want to become champion and if you want to compete in a high level, you need so many things around you. First of all, you need good people, right people who have good knowledge, who have good energy, who have good experience, and they can share with you. Second, of course, if you compete inside the cage, you have to spar inside the cage at least like couple times in a week. You have to feel cage. You cannot just spar inside the ring and come to UFC and spar. Like every single moment is gonna give you a hard time. You know, if you never spar in the cage, it's different. And that's why you need all this treatment. You know, you have, this is like Rocky is Rocky. This is movie, brother. You know,
Is it just?
You know, it's like I was doing same thing all my life. Stability. If you don't have stability, if you don't recover between the trainings, you're never gonna become success. I talk about MMA, mixed martial arts. You know, you have to train every day. You have to do same thing: sparring, grappling, wrestling, running, like meets, bag, every single day. Like you cannot, like if you fight it, you cannot sing and come to inside the cage and win. No, you have to do same thing every single day, and so many years. You know, you have to sacrifice everything what you have. And a lot of people I know, like a lot of athletes, they become boring because like they need something new. But when you little bit move like from your way, you're gonna lose because you have to be on one condition. I was wrestling every day like 1 hour non-stop. 1 hour. Can you imagine? With new opponents, 1 hour. And then when you finish, you go do some exercise, lifting, running, backs, work with coach. Like it's you know, and between trainings you need recovery. What is this recovery? A lot of people don't understand what is this recovery. A lot of people call it like massage, straight, like, you know, supplements. Like for me, recovery is sleep. Yeah, most important things. Between trainings, like at least 2-3 hours. All my life I was like daytime I was sleeping, like from maybe 11 to 1, maybe 12 to 2, maybe 2 to 4, you know. Between trainings you have to sleep because you train so hard morning, 2 hours, and night you have to train 2.5. You need rest, you have to rest, you know. A lot of people, they use like morning, they train, go work, because most of the people, they have to make money, you know. Not every fighters can like just don't work, you know. And they have to, they not focused. They working, training. It's meant 50-50. No, If you want to make money, okay, go to work. But if you want to sacrifice your life and become the best, no, you cannot work. You have to rest between trainings, and nighttime, you have to be fresh on training.
Yeah.
So, like I talked about a lot, it started off with the Rocky and Rambo movies.
Right.
You know, those are kind of like my fathers when I was coming up. But then when I finally met this guy named Scott Guerin, this guy that fell off it, you know, he had a parachute accident. A guy crashed through his parachute, and he fell 13,000 feet, pretty much to his death because his parachute collapsed, and he fell 120 miles an hour to the ground. I mean,
that picture in the book.
It's disgusting, right? And so he hit the ground, and I met him a couple years later at this CAP, Civil Air Patrol camp. And I'm sitting there, and no kid was like amazed by him. You know, it was like, okay, this is a great story. I'm a kid, let's go. I'm sitting there, he comes out, and I was amazed by Rambo. Like at a young guy, like, oh my God, this is the real Rambo. He came out, he had, he got his throat cut open to open up his airway. So I saw he got trached, and I saw all these different things. I was like, my God, he came out talking all like Clint Eastwood, and he shared the story, and he's all hardcore. And I started following this guy, but he didn't know I was following him. So for a week long, he did push-ups and flutter kicks, and I was like, man, that is the real Rambo.
Why do you think it connected with you and not with the other kids? Like, what was it inside of you that was, obviously searching for somebody like that?
I was looking for strength my entire life. I didn't have any. I was a really weak kid. My dad beat the living shit out of me and took I was strong as a young kid, but me protecting my mom for so many years in that house, my dad made me very afraid because he beat the shit out of me every time I went at him. So in that, every man wants courage. Every man wants strength. At least this one does. So I found it in every way possible. And when I see a strong guy, I was like, okay, maybe he can teach me. So he didn't know anything about me. So time went on, I left school, and then this guy was in my mind. We had zero money, man. Like at one time, we lived in a $7 a month place, government subsidized apartments. Now we live in like a $200 place at this time. I went on a $500 phone bill. And back then, dude, and having no money, my mom wanted to kill me. I was in search of Scott Guerin.
Yeah, no Google, no internet.
Google, no nothing.
You're just randomly calling up bases?
Air Force bases, man. Calling up Air Force bases, man. Hey, do you know what Scott Guerin? What do you mean? I'm like, who's Scott Guerin? I'm like, he's a pararescueman. A what? Because, a pararescuman, there's not a lot of them. So I started getting, okay, there's a PJ base here, a pararescue base here. So I started tracking down pararescue bases. Finally, Key West, Florida. He's a scuba instructor down there in Key West, Florida. I leave a message. He calls back, gets a hold of my mom. I'm like, I cannot believe this guy called me back. My first question to him was, hey man, can I come stay with you for a week? He's like, who the fuck are you, man? He didn't know who the fuck I was. The guy let me come stay with him for a week.
And that was, you were senior in high school?
I was a junior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was in my junior year, pretty much.
It's pretty amazing that he was open to that.
He was open to it.
You.
I think he said about 4 words to me in the entire week. We PT'd together, and I didn't need to hear a word from him. He didn't talk a lot. He was an instructor. I would go to school or to scuba school with him. He would instruct. I'd sit on the couch for 10 hours. Sit in the lounge on the fucking couch for 10 hours. He'd come back, pick me up, we go for a run, he'd go home. We ate fish every fucking day because we had to go out in the ocean, like I would go lobster hunting. I hate the fucking water, I was scared to death, but this guy went in, so I'm going in. And I left there with just one big thing. That's what I want to be. I want to be a guy like that. Yeah.
Hey, the weekend where you really only had 2 things to do for the weekend? Whatever it was, you had to write this thing and you had to answer this other thing. And on Friday, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. And on Saturday, like, I'll do it. And it's basically hanging over your head the whole weekend. Whereas if you'd just done Friday afternoon, the whole weekend would have been a lot better. I've said since day one, motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
All of the concerns that we have, all of the sleepless nights and the neuroses and the overthinking and the confusion and the uncertainty and the self-doubt and all of that stuff, all combined together, I think, probably net us about maybe 5 or 10% better outcomes in life. It's my belief that most of the qualities that you have, your integrity, your virtue, your discipline, your hard work, your growth-mindedness, your humor, your resilience, all of that are forces that are very, very difficult for you to slow down, and that once they've got started, it's incredibly hard for you to stop them.
When you see what's out there, when you see where people are really gaining wealth and knowledge from, okay? The business relationships that you're able to acquire, the people that you're able to partner with and create certain things, different revenue streams. Oh, easy.
You're not just positive though, you're like crazy ambitious. That's the thing that always gets me about you and The Rock.
For sure.
It's like the ambition's off the charts. Like, I know you're rich as fuck. Like, when do you think you got enough? You don't have enough. There's no enough.
I don't have enough because it's not over.
It's not over.
It's not over. So, you know, when you put a cap on it, you're putting a punctuation to it. And the ambition comes from seeing what's out there that can be obtained. And for me, that younger generation of black people that don't understand the cool thing is in financial longevity, not in the now. It's not in the moment for jewelry, not in the moment for the car. It's in the longevity. It's in building, so at the end of the day, you can say, look at what I have. Look at what I worked for. Look at what I have that's mine. Monopoly is real, but you have to have the financial understanding, financial fitness, where it's just about me educating people on money.
Really?
How to manage money, how to be smart with your money. But it's coming from a person that fucked up money. I didn't always understand it. I owed in taxes before because I didn't understand it in the beginning. I had bad credit. Credit cards wouldn't take me because I maxed out whatever. I've been there. I've done it. Thank God I was able to fix it and get on the right path. And now that I have the knowledge, I want to give it because you simply don't know. So when you say the end game is getting to a point where I've taken all the knowledge that I've been able to get over these years and really applying it and providing family wealth. When it's all said and done, the last name Hart is going to mean just more, a lot more.